Go ninja, go ninja, go. Go ninja, go ninja, go. Go ninja, go ninja, go. Go ninja, go ninja, go.
Well, at least it's not Wiz Khalifa.
Four turtles, one's fighting a robot samurai. Why not?
Alrighty, so we are back, and we are going to be talking about Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the highly, highly anticipated reboot produced by Michael Bay.
Man, there were like... There's always that one film in a year where everybody's just waiting on bated breath to see. There's the Gone with the Winds. There's the Wizard of Oz. And then there's Michael Bay's produced Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
So, yeah, after our Guardians review, we decided to go see the new reboot. And, you know, I mean, it's a thing. Like, we're fans of Ninja Turtles.
I mean, I wouldn't go out of the way and say that we're, like, the biggest fans of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I mean, we grew up with them as kids.
Yeah.
They're one of those things that just really hasn't died. Like, Ninja Turtles are still around now. There's still renditions of it. So even the kids that are young these days know the Ninja Turtles. They know Splinter. They know the Shredder.
Exactly.
And we respect what they are. And I know, speaking for myself, I do like the characters. I do like... You know, back when, like, the OG cartoon and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
That's where we came from. And I liked that cartoon. I loved, you know, the characters. So, and the freaking impossible to play video games. I enjoyed all of it. But I wouldn't go out of my way to, like, you know, get a sleeve of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle tattoos or something like that. Like, it's...
Well, no, those would be Power Ranger tattoos.
That is true. So I guess we're not much better.
No.
But, yeah, like, they're strong. I wouldn't say strong characters, but the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles they're a strong presence.
Yeah,
they're a powerful presence.
I mean, like you said, it's never really died.
It's never gone anywhere.
I mean, you look at other stuff like Transformers and even He-Man, it's like, yeah, Transformers has been around a little bit longer, but really it kind of peaked in the 80s and it kind of, like, withered, like, up and down. Where, like, He-Man, I wouldn't really say had, like, as big as a revival.
Is He-Man still a thing anymore?
Like,
I don't think it's even still a thing.
It had a reboot, like, back in, like, the early, like, 2000s.
Yeah, but that's not... 14 years ago, dude.
Yeah, like, it was... Like, it did not... I don't think it really caught on as big as, like, the original.
No, I know what you're talking about, too, and it wasn't a thing.
Yeah, I mean, even G.I. Joe's not really that popular. I don't even know if they still make those toys.
I think they do.
Yeah, like...
Maybe.
But yeah, it's like Ninja Turtles is not really gone down at all. It's still staying strong, even for, like, 20 years. I mean, there's, like... Every series that comes out is, well... with the exception of one live-action one, ends up literally being a success.
Which never happened.
Yeah,
I don't know what you're talking about. There's no way the Ninja Turtles would get a live-action show and collab with the Power Rangers. That never happened at all.
Or get a fifth turtle with boobs for some reason. Because, why not? Yeah, but it's never really died down, because, like, the moment it's, like, one show dies, it's like, bam, another show kind of comes up, and then the popularity keeps going. And if it's not that, it's like what you said. It's like the fucking games. It's the comic books. It's the movies, which actually that's how I got introduced to the Turtles, was like the original 90s movie. Mm-hmm. So that's kind of where I found my basis. And that's how I got into like the cartoons and stuff. And I still enjoy the Turtles. Out of like the 80s properties, I'll say it, I kind of like the Turtles a little bit more. It's one of those things that I can definitely kind of watch and know that it has an equal quality. I mean, I like the new show that's going on now. Yeah. So coming into this... We were fans of this franchise, and like when we did hear Michael Bay was like, shit, Because, again, even though...
So many of our childhood memories killed by him.
Again, it's like, while I will admit to not being the biggest Transformers fan, I at least knew about them, I at least had a thing about them, but with the Turtles, I was like, oh, come on. I actually really do like the Turtles a lot.
Yeah, I knew Transformers a little bit better than I knew the Ninja Turtles. Like, I know the Turtles, I know Splinter, I know Shredder.
Right.
I know, like, April O'Neil, Casey Jones, you know, Bebop Rocksteady, guys like that. I know them, but I've never been, Krang, but I've never known, like, a lot of the canon past the origin stories.
Right.
Which really is probably all you need to know anyway.
I mean, it's pretty much a simple story.
So that's the thing. I've had my senses dulled by watching my property with Transformers just get freaking beat up on screen.
That was not
over and over again, and I can't do anything. It's like watching your dad get beat up. Like you're never the same after that.
Oh man, and I think that's also why a lot of because this film, obviously a lot of fans had a lot of input in this one, and were very vocal about it.
Yeah.
Because again, Transformers were not as popular at that time. Those movies were made, so when Michael Bay came, it was like, oh, I'll just make them aliens.
And let's not make them teenager either.
And a whole mass of fans came on him, and he realized, oh, this is still very popular. Oh my god.
Yeah.
This is what a vocal fan base sounds like.
You came to the wrong neighborhood, motherfucker.
This is Turtle Town, motherfucker. So, as we all know, we've had a lot of controversial decisions. Granted, they're not aliens. We can confirm they're not aliens in this movie.
Because that would be stupid. Isn't that right, Megan Fox?
Poke, jab. And that's another thing we also have to talk about, too. There's Megan Fox's, April O'Neil, the turtle redesigns, and certain other things. Everyone's kind of had a certain thing about it. And that's where we come in. So, let's get to the good first.
Okay, so typically when we go into this section, we have our lists of good and our lists of bad, and we like to elaborate on certain parts, but honestly, we can wrap this, or not wrap it up, but we can at least cover this whole section up with 1 or 2 sentences. Ninja Turtles are good. Action is good.
Which was honestly the most surprising thing about this movie.
It stunned me.
Dude, seriously, when we originally saw the trailers that were first showing up, with the scene with Michelangelo showing up, it's oh, it's just a mess, pulls it off, and I'm like, see, I remember doing this in the theaters. I leaned over, it's see, and then I went, donkey,
because he looks like fucking Shrek.
He still looks like fucking Shrek. I'm sorry. The thing is, I will say about this, I didn't feel as bad as design. Michelangelo still is the one who looks the most ogre-y, I guess.
Yeah.
And really, it's kind of weird, too, because, they have, all this other little shit attached to them, too. I guess...
You know what the thing is? When I first saw the turtle redesign, in the trailers, I wasn't a fan. I was with everyone else. I was on, the forums and shit, going, why do they have such big nostrils? Why do they have all this stuff? But I'm going to say it right now, I actually like the redesign. I liked how they looked in the movie. Yeah,
I didn't... Honestly, you kind of get used to it after a while.
I mean, I didn't like Donatello's giant fucking nerd glasses.
That fucking hurt. Donnie's my favorite, and basically...
He's my favorite, too.
Yeah, and, I'm looking at my favorite turtle, basically... The only thing is, they say is, he's a fucking nerd! Get it? He's a fucking nerd! I mean, I thought freaking Electro and Amazing Spider-Man 2 was nerdy. No, it's he's got the glasses, and he's got the teeth, and he's got all the electronic shit.
And, he's got to do calculations for the easiest fucking shit ever.
I mean,
my calculation says, this is air we're breathing.
I mean, granted, I like seeing the techno side of Donnie in a movie.
Yeah, I thought it was actually pretty well done with it, but then at the same time, there were those few moments where it's he's screaming because the enemies have guns.
Yeah.
It's like, you're a fucking mutant ninja turtle, and you're afraid of a gun. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm afraid of guns.
Yeah.
Right? We've been on that end. It's not fun, but, like, I'm not a giant turtle monster with fucking weapons and ninja training. Like, that's kind of what you've been trained to confront.
Yeah, to me, his redesign just kind of screamed, NERD! That's kind of it. Like, the other designs are okay, too. I mean, Raph looks like Raph. Mike is pretty much Mikey. Like, Leo is there. Like,
yeah, he's... I like his redesign. I don't know what the whole, like, front chest piece thing was, but...
I've heard, like, a theory that was supposed to be, like, samurai-ish, but I'm like, he's a fucking ninja.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Actually,
like,
Donnie had a, like, samurai, like, the hip armor thing. It looked like samurai armor. It's like, he's a ninja. Ninjas fight samurai.
And, like, the thing is, like, well, how can you tell they're ninjas? It's in the fucking title.
It's a fucking title.
But I also thought, like, amongst the design too, they were going to get a lot of the personalities wrong. Or they'd make them more annoying than usual. Yeah. Like, especially with Mikey, because, you know, he's the jokester, he talks a lot, but, like, no, I was actually surprised that Mikey was not annoying.
Actually, I thought the personalities of the Ninja Turtles were perfect.
Yeah.
Great writing for the Turtles in and of itself. Their lines were spot on, their characters were spot on, props to the voice actors. Well, here's the thing. It was weird because I thought a few of the voices were kind of odd. You know, Johnny Knoxville as Leonardo. I don't know where that came from, but at the same time, after, like, the first time I heard it, I was like, I don't know if I'm in this. And then after a while, like, I started getting used to it.
Yeah, you just kind of get used to everything.
And, like, you know, because it's like you're used to what the Turtles sound like before. So, once you heard them after a while, it's like, okay, you know, I can deal with this. I'm okay with this.
Yeah, I mean, the same thing. I mean, I'm still, like, I think the problem with Johnny Knoxville's Leonardo is, like, it still sounds pretty much like Johnny Knoxville.
It totally was Johnny Knoxville.
Yeah, until he was Johnny Knoxville, where it didn't feel like Leonardo. But then again, to be honest, Leonardo's, like, the blandest turtle.
Oh, he really is.
Of the four. I mean, what do you got? You got the hothead, the techno geek, the surfer, the Peter.
Yeah,
he's always been kind of... Like, even as a kid, he's always been my least favorite turtle.
Leonardo has always been, like, the boring one, just because, you know, he has the most obvious fucking blue color. He fights with katanas, which are like, yeah, that's the prototypical weapon that everyone has. He's the leader character. It's not like, you know, and we're gonna, you know, stroke that Power Rangers dick there for a minute, but it's not like, you know, the Power Rangers... Or we'll even cut into, like, when the Green Ranger, White Ranger comes over to the Ranger side. They're not like a Jason David Frank as Tommy Oliver, where he's charismatic and he's always showing that he cares for his team, but at the same time he's always showing that he can handle himself. Leonardo has always kind of been like, yeah, we're brothers and I'm the leader.
Pretty much. Like, that's it. Yeah, this film doesn't really help that at all a little bit. Like, he's pretty much kind of the blander one of the four.
Yeah, I mean,
even there's, like, a scene where, like, they're making, like, all their confessions before, like, when they think they're about to die. He's the only one who doesn't make a damn thing.
Yeah, he didn't say anything.
He's like, we gotta confess something. I'm like, well, what do you confess, Leonardo? That I'm bland as fuck. Yes, you are. or at least in this movie, because I don't want to piss off Leonardo fans. Like, at least in this movie, he was the least interesting of them.
I mean, like, I still like Leonardo. That's
I
what
still
we
like
didn't
Leonardo.
Say. We still like Leonardo. We're just saying that he's not the most interesting of the bunch.
Especially in this movie.
Oh, especially in this movie.
But really, the turtle personalities were spot on. Honestly, I enjoy them. Even, like, the little scene with them in, like, the elevator.
Yeah.
Where they're kind of, like, getting themselves, like, pumped up a little bit before a fight. Yeah, they're just kind of banging on, like, the walls, just kind of, like, getting...
A little, like, beatboxing and, like, a beat going on.
Yeah, kind of getting themselves pumped up for, like, a fight.
Yeah, they're going over to fight the Shredder, which, you know, it could easily be a life and death situation.
Right.
I mean, typically when you're going to fight the big boss of, you know, the movie, there's like this big dramatic moment and everybody's sad. No, there's beatboxing and like making beats and nodding their heads and stuff, as brothers would do. And that's one thing I actually really liked about this movie, is that you saw a lot of that brotherly interaction between them. It wasn't just like, oh yeah, you know, they're related. These guys actually acted like brothers. They picked on each other like brothers. They fought like brothers. Like, you know, they fought against other people like brothers would do. Like in a unison, they displayed that kind of like family tie that I really liked seeing as well.
I give credit. I thought I was going to hate the turtles. I actually thought they were the better thing in this movie.
They were the best part of the movie by
even
far.
their fight scenes were fine. I mean,
fight scenes were fucking awesome. What are you talking about?
Yeah, like, I'm gonna say, like, the one that kind of was like did the least for me was the snow ride, because at first it was interesting, but then I kind of thought it went on a little too, only because I felt it went a little too long in the end. A little bit.
I don't know. I don't know if I agree with that. I actually think it went on the pretty decent amount of time. I mean, it wasn't like a Transformers where it was like just
no, it wasn't like that. It wasn't like that. Which is another good thing too. We ought to say about this movie: it's short.
Yeah, it knows when to end.
Well, it has. It could have ended like a little bit sooner, because even you were saying like.
Yeah. No, you're right. Yeah.
But however, this knows when to have a decent runtime.
Yeah, like I said, I don't fully agree with that. I actually think the snow scene was at a good pace. I think it was fine.
I kind of preferred like a lot more the hand-to-hand stuff.
The hand-to-hand was the best part.
Yeah, that's the thing. Is like I didn't mind.
It was actually really well choreographed. When Splinter throws down, when the ninjas throw down, Shredder kicks the fuck out of people.
Yeah, and also considering like basically like I'm just gonna. Big spoilers. A lot of it is all CGI. Even the Shredder's kind of like all CGI.
But it looks good.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like I didn't mind it.
It looks good.
I didn't mind it. Like we got to see Splinter kick some ass, which I'm being a Splinter fan is like, oh yeah.
Yeah, I liked actually finally, because people need to understand like Splinter is the guy. He's the one who trains these turtles. He is a master of these arts. So seeing him actually throw down, I love the work of like using his tail as a weapon.
Yeah, like even
so he's like using his hands to fight other people while he's fighting the other ones with his tail. Like,
and if he's not fighting those people, he's beating the turtles' asses.
Oh yeah, he's beating the shit out of them.
He's just whipping them with his tail and shit.
Which I thought was awesome.
Yeah, so I like some of those other touches, and I think a lot of the stuff that people are the main thing that people want to see in this movie. Yeah, which is the turtles kicking the shit out of the Shredder. They're gonna like those parts.
Here, pretty much, we can sum this up with a rare line you're ever going to hear. Excuse me, in a internet review video. The best parts of the movie is when the CGI shows up.
But on that note, though, since we talked about the good, we're going to have to talk about the bad.
Ladies and gentlemen, what you're about to witness is a negative portion of a video review for a Michael Bay associated movie. You might want to strap in for this one.
But you might want to grab a drink.
Actually, you might want to grab your bingo cards just to see how many you can get.
Okay, so pretty much everything else we were kind of fearing about this movie,
yeah,
pretty much happened in this one. And like,
yeah,
this is where when we say we like the turtles and they're the best part of the movie, they're literally the only good thing about this movie. Because the rest of this is...
Because everything else sucks.
Like, this is not a very good movie. This script fucking sucks.
I mean, it's not a good... It's okay, but the script is fucking just garbage.
It really is. Yeah, it really is. I mean, it honestly feels like... I know there's multiple rides in this one, and it fucking feels like it.
Yeah, dude.
It really does.
It's like they were sitting there and they took the script. They were like, fuck it. They just like started chopping it up into pieces. Johnny, here, write some cowabunga lines. Steve, come over here and write the Shredder's not backstory.
Yeah, like it really does, because it feels like they had one writer for all the turtle stuff, and they have like a bunch of the other writers for like all the other bullshit. that no one really cares.
And what they need to do is get that one guy who wrote all the turtle stuff and let him write the entire fucking thing.
Because that was actually an enjoyable part. Like, the rest of it is just like, it's not even very consistent with itself. Too, which, I mean, like, we have one scene that shows us, like, that shows us that April's father died in a fire, and then it's like, at the end, it's like, no. Like, the main bad guy's like, I shot your father, April O'Neil. I'm like, doesn't that kind of contradict what we...
Yeah, not Christopher Walken shot him right in the face.
Which, we do have to confirm, William Fletcher was not the Shredder in this movie. However, though...
He probably was.
He probably was, because honestly, there were parts where I felt like he was so the fucking Shredder.
Dude, everyone knew he was the Shredder from the trailer. Everyone knew. Like, you could feel it in certain parts that he was the Shredder. And
in fact, honestly...
Do you know what it was? It was probably the same thing that happened with the Alien origin, where a bunch of fanboys were like, really? That guy's the Shredder? He's the Shredder? And Michael Bay was like, listen, he goes to the director and the writer, and he's like, listen, we can't have this happen. Change it, and then we'll make fun of it later in the movie.
Oh, yeah. Are they aliens? No, that's stupid. Yeah, that's why we're...
Yeah,
that's why we didn't like it.
Like, yeah, that is stupid.
The thing about, like, his character, William Fletcher, Eric Sachs, I'm just going to make you... make that joke already, because I don't have enough time. And the worst part is they spell it exactly like it is. Like, oh, I thought they spelled it like with an H, like sax. No, it's like it is spelled
sax. It
is spelled like sax. I'm like, oh shit.
Which is probably where this script was hiding.
But like, yeah, his.
I'm saying he rubbed his balls on it. Alright, continue.
But anyway, so William Fletcher is pretty much this evil billionaire who was brought up by the Shredder and the Foot Clan, and he has like a dastardly evil plan, which is kind of like almost every bad guy's plan in one comic book movie or another.
Which is pretty much every bad guy's plan in the last, like, 5 comic book movies we've seen.
Which is, I'm going to poison the city.
I'm going to use a tower on top of this building to spread a contagion that turns people into hurts people and degenerates their skin. So I will sell them a cure.
My advisor, Kurt Connors, was really specific about it.
Yeah, Dr. Connors was very specific.
Yeah, and if it's not that, it's just stealing, like, it just feels like a bunch of plot lines that we've kind of seen from, like, other movies, really. Actually,
come to think about it, having Lizard from fucking Amazing Spider-Man 2 versus the Ninja Turtle actually would be pretty badass, come to think of it.
Hey, if you could actually put Leatherhead in the movie. Yeah, exactly. Like, his character is just so freaking bland. Like, the actor's really trying to work above the script he's given, but it's not, like, his character's just a bland... He is bland McEvil billionaire. What's his plan? He wants to poison the city and make more money off of a cure that he hasn't even fucking tested yet.
The evil villain Von Douchebag the Fifth.
Yeah. Villain, if you will. But, really, you start to really see the holes in how dumb this plan is. Like, poisoning the city and giving a cure may not sound dumb, but his whole prospect of doing it is pretty freaking stupid because, okay, he finds the Ninja Turtles because the Ninja Turtles were part of, like, this experiment that he and April's dad was part of. We'll get to that one later. And he wants their blood because, you know, Star Trek didn't do that one already. Because somebody watched Into Darkness that day. And apparently, like, they still have the mutagen in them and everything like that. And the mutagen was originally part of, I think it was like a cellular repairing system that was being developed at some point.
I'm gonna be honest with you, I wasn't paying attention. I didn't care.
Yeah. So, which is what makes the turtles mutate, apparently. And he wants that to make a cure, so he can sell the cure from the virus. Even though he hasn't tested this cure, and he knows for a fact that it's not really so much repairing cells as mutating things.
So I think it'd be funnier than hell if he's like, hey, guys, come here and, like, get my miracle cure. And these people with, like, you know, horrible burn marks on their faces and stuff, they're like, oh, thank you. And they inject it in themselves, start growing arms out of their face. Oh, this is much worse. Kill the guy with the antidote.
It's like,
but you know what the thing is that really bugs me about this whole plan that you actually pointed out to me? The explanation on why. The ultimate goal of the plan.
may I sum it up?
Go ahead, sir.
We've got to have money.
No, but really, Sack's plan, who, by the way, we forgot to really mention the fact that Sax is dead. As in, he's filthy freaking rich.
He's like Tony Stark rich, almost.
Yeah, he owns his own, you know, like big $1 million, probably $1 billion corporation. The dude is typical evil rich guy. His goal of this whole New York thing is to get rich. He's already rich.
To, in his words, get stupid rich.
He's already rich. Like, I understand the whole, if you have something, you want more of it. But at the same time, it's like, you want to get rich.
I want to become a triple gazillionaire.
It's like, you're never going to spend that much money in your entire life.
Yeah, and again, it goes back to the thing that you were saying, is like, clearly the thing does not work. It mutates things. It does not repair shit.
Right? Okay, so congratulations. You just turned New York into a giant city full of fucking Ninja Turtles. They were already fucking angry enough as it is. Now they're fucking giant turtle monsters and they want to kick your ass.
Great plan!
Have fun with that, though. I would love to see Rush Hour during that, though. That would be hilarious.
So, yeah, you got him, and of course, the Shredder, who is basically just a CGI creation.
Okay, let's.
Okay, to be fair, he does have an actor that you don't really see his face in, like...
Yeah, he's got an
Shadow.
actor for about 3 scenes.
And for VO work whenever he speaks English.
Yeah, but I mean, like... You don't know his real name, you don't know his backstory, because he doesn't have one. Shredder is purely, oh, he's a dick, and he's going to take over the world.
Like, I thought, like, Malekith from fucking Dark World was underdeveloped. No.
This kind of makes me feel bad about talking about how underdeveloped Ronan was in Guardians of the
like,
Galaxy.
Because at least he had a presence.
At least he had a fucking story.
He was a character.
Shredder was literally, I compared him to, like, trying to walk through a blizzard, with Shredder being the blizzard. He has no personality. He's not really a thing. He's more of a force that you're going after.
Yeah, I mean...
And here's the thing. When he stands in as a force, as I mentioned during the good section, he kicks the fucking shit out of pretty much everybody he faces. He's a badass. The fights that he has are freaking awesome. I love watching the Shredder fight in this movie. But the thing is, that's all he does. That's all he's good for.
That's all that's his only purpose in the movie. Because in the origin story of this one, he doesn't really have a connection to the Turtles or Splinter at all. There's no mention of Hamato Yoshi. He's just a guy. He's just a dude who owns a terrorist organization that's not ninjas. Just some dudes who stole like some immortal masks from like 300, put them on, and had guns. Basically, and they're called the Foot
because they step over anyone.
So
why don't you just call them the Dicks?
Because they like to fuck everything up.
They're the assholes because they just shit on everything.
So
Shredder's like, God damn it.
So really,
their flags have giant buttholes on them.
It's the one from Community, like the... But, yeah, he is just there. I mean, honestly, that's why I kind of think William, why Eric Sachs was supposed to be the Shredder in a way. Or at least in one draft he was, because clearly he has no character at all. And, like, it feels like they just kind of made up his character, like, on the spot.
Yeah, I have a feeling that they've kind of, like, worked in a different Shredder. Just like, oh, shit, they figured it out.
Oh, shit. they're getting pissed off. Hire a Japanese guy. We'll make it fit in. We'll make it fit in. Like, even at some points, it kind of sounded like Shredder's voice a little bit like, kind of like William Fletchery a little bit. Like, in some spots, he didn't have, like, the little voice-changing gruff thing, so I'm convinced he was a Shredder. Very convinced, and maybe would have added to his character a little bit. But it felt...
actually believed him as a villain.
It would have felt a little bit more complete. It would have actually had a character kind of thing there. And since we mentioned like how the Turtles and everything else don't have like the usual origin, and how we mentioned April's father, okay, here's the thing. This thing's been reimagined like many times. So the origin's been redone over and over. We've had different ones where Hamato Yoshi was turned into a rat, or Hamato Yoshi's pet was mutated, or the Turtles were in a science experiment. So we've seen plenty of ones. This one, I'm not really too big of a fan of.
I'm not either.
Because the whole thing is, like, the idea of this one is, like, almost like the idea of, like, what they're trying to do with, like, their new Sony's trying to do with, like, the new Spider-Man movies. Yeah. Where it's like, everything is connected.
A web, if you will.
Everything is destiny. Everything was this. Everything has to be explained. And really it doesn't. Because the whole thing is, this one is, like, okay, the Turtles were part of the experiment that Eric Sachs and April O'Neil's dad...
Whatever his name is.
Dead dad.
Yeah.
Whatever he did to do, like, this experiment for trying to do things. And they used April's pets, apparently. Or, like, she considered her pets? I don't know. Whatever.
I think that's what it was. She considered them her pets.
Yeah. Although it would be kind of screwed up if it was like, hey, honey... Can I use your pet rat and 4 turtles for my science experiments?
Took your bunny. Now it's got guns on its head.
Now it's got an extra ear. Which I see that.
Horribly mutated ninja bunnies.
They actually made that reference in there. We were thinking about using rabbits. Imagine what would have happened with that.
Did they?
Yeah, they did. Yeah, they did. When Sax captures the turtles, he's like, we were going to use bunnies. Imagine how weird that would have been. Like, so, the thing is, like, he's experimenting on them, and, like, on this project called Project Renaissance. So that's why all the turtles are named after Renaissance artists. And they didn't explain why the fuck's the rat's named after a friggin' Splinter, but... Because...
We shall name the turtles after 4 of the greatest minds and artists of the Italian Renaissance. And we shall name this rat after a fragment of wood that gets stuck in your toe.
Just because, fuck it. And they also reveal, like, the reason they like pizza is because she used to give them pizza.
Did we really need an explanation of why they eat pizza?
No.
How? Here's an origin. Pizza's delicious.
Yeah, you want to know something that the new series did, actually? Here's the thing, like, to show, like, the first time I had pizza, they had the pizza was there. They took a bite. They thought it was delicious. The end.
The end.
And they liked pizza. I mean, we don't really need to go into, like, a lot of the explanation of, like, how they got these things, too. And even, like, the explanations that we did kind of get in the canon, like, oh, well, why are they named after Renaissance artists? Because Splinter really liked the Renaissance and was a big fan of that, so he named his sons after that. I'm like, okay, that makes more sense. That makes kind of sense. It gives some of a personal stance to it. And even, like, the explanations that we do kind of get are just kind of like, eh. Because April O'Neil does get a big front in there. And the thing is, Megan Fox is not quite as bad as I thought she was going to be. Like, she's not great.
She did well enough for me to not want to punch her because of her character, but more want to punch the freaking director for going, I think April O'Neil needs some more screen time. It's like, no, she doesn't. And nobody is here wearing an April O'Neil t-shirt. I would have enjoyed it more if fucking April O'Neil, the porn star, showed up for a second and went, hi, and then walked away. And I would have been like, that's all I needed.
Like, the thing is, like, I don't mind them trying to put April more in the story. Like, okay, fine, she's the main character, okay.
Whatever.
But the thing is, like, it's kind of like what the Transformers did in a way. Where she is the center of the whole universe. And, like, the Turtles are kind of like the background.
because in a movie called Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, you care about the humans.
Well, I appreciate them trying to, like, update her character. It doesn't really feel as interesting, really. Because, here's the thing, like, she's the intrepid reporter, who is quite honestly the worst reporter you could ever bring along an assignment.
I mean, I wouldn't say she was a bad reporter, but her timing is just like... Here's the thing. I understand some reporters, photographers, situations. You go into bad areas. You, film during harsh times. You film during firefights. I get that. But when you're the one being shot at and you're being chased by an army of terrorists, I think it's time to put the camera down.
Yes, she does that like 3 freaking times. Once when she's being held hostage with a bunch of other people on a subway by the foot, like toting their guns. Yeah, I know. And like this guy who's scared shitless is seeing this girl take out her phone. He's like, don't.
He's like, don't take a picture of the ninja.
Don't. I want to go home. Don't.
Please
and
don't.
Stu's like, I'm going to take a picture. You know, obviously one of them looks at this and goes, hey, cut that shit out, and tries to kill her. Then there's another scene where she tries to take a picture of the turtles with her flash on.
And then they get the camera, erase it, and they say, hey, don't take any more pictures of us. Which she proceeds to take another picture of them that you never see for the rest of the movie.
Because the writer forgot.
Because the writer forgot.
And then later on they're like, hey, what the fuck did we tell you? When Donnie hacked her computer and literally said, we said we'd come after you.
Yeah, they straight up said, hey, if you take another picture of us, we'll find you. And they found her. It's like...
Because she took another fucking picture.
I don't get that. When you get confronted by fucking 6 foot, like 5, 300-pound mutant ninja turtles who told you, hey, who have never been seen in the city of New York, which is, like, huge, because, you can see everything in New York. So if you don't see these giant fucks in New York City, they're pretty stealthy. Mm. And they went, hey, you keep this up, we're going to find your ass. Mm. And your response was, well, screw them. I'm going to take another picture. Let's just get this out of the way right now since we're doing the bad thing and we want to talk about, get the double shot at Michael Bay and honestly a shot at Megan Fox while I'm at it. Right. So let's crack the knucks. It's no secret that Michael Bay, I know he's not directing this movie, but there's no secret that anything that Michael Bay's involved with has to have a gratuitous amount of hot women in it to, like, shake their ass and, like, oh, hey, guys, people like titties, isn't that right? Like, to the point that I'm surprised Venus wasn't in this because Michael Bay has never turned down a pair of tits in a movie in his life. My biggest beef in this is actually with Megan Fox because she had that giant rant, that big explanation of, yeah, I understand why I'm in this movie. It's just because of the appearance. No one's coming to see me act. And she was like, I don't want to do this, and left. And I applauded her during that. I was like, good for you, because she knew what we knew, and she was like, you know what, I'm not going to take this anymore, and I was happy to see that. I was actually hoping some good things for her, and now she comes crawling back to Michael Bay, and like, I'll pounce on a trampoline and show my ass at the camera, why the hell not?
It's like, I'm going to be independent, and I'm going to show that I can't get by with just my looks. 4 movies later, please take me back! Please! It's so lonely out here!
Sign the contract, baby! I'll suck you!
I don't want to be in Jonah Hex 2! Please! This isn't her worst movie she's been in. But the same, like, I still think she could have been cast. Any other actress would have taken on this part a lot better.
And I wouldn't even say better. I would just say any actress could have played this part.
Yeah, any actress.
I think, honestly, you could have threw that leather jacket on a dude and it would have been like, this is Ace O'Neal or some shit like that.
Yeah, and you would have gotten really the same results.
It would have been the same fucking movie.
But because, like, the movie...
Shia LaBeouf with a fucking paper bag over his head. I am not April O'Neil.
And speaking of Shia LaBeouf, basically, it's the same kind of thing with the Transformers movies as this one, where she's the main character and not the title characters.
I wouldn't say as bad as the Transformers.
It's not
because
as bad, but it's still there.
Yeah, it's there, but the Turtles got a lot of screen time. They actually got a lot of time, which I was happy to see. But at the same time, it's like, I don't care about April. Why are you showing me? Let's develop April O'Neil. You want to know what never really developed April O'Neil? Any other Ninja Turtle series, because no one fucking cares. April O'Neil is there to be hot and to bone Casey Jones, and that's it.
Well, the thing is, like, they have developed her character, like, once in a while, because I've seen that.
Well, no, like, she gets
Yeah.
a little bit, but there's not much there because the fucking Turtles are the reason you came to
Yeah,
see
I mean,
her.
the thing is, like, she's not the main focus that holds this entire world together.
Not at all.
She's just an ally of the Turtles.
Yeah.
Which is what I've always thought of her as. It's the Turtle story. And this one, she really is kind of the linchpin that holds things together because it's her dad's experiment that brought the Turtles alive. It's the fact that she gave them pizza that makes them like pizza so much. It's this kind of story. And really, it's her bits that just kind of feel like the worst kind of parts of the movie.
Also, for future reference, if any kids are watching this, you shouldn't be watching this because we swear a lot, but if you are watching this, don't feed your turtles pizza. Don't do it. They'll probably die.
Exactly. Which, although science does not matter in this movie.
Yeah, I'm not sure if that's accurate. I'm obviously not a veterinarian, but
Hey, are you suffering blood loss? Let me give you adrenaline.
it's like, why don't you get him some blood?
Like, that really is the thing. Like, the redone origin doesn't really do it for me. I think it kind of takes a little bit away from certain things, especially Splinter. It takes away, I think.
Oh, yeah.
And it just, you can just tell this was not a very good script. I mean, the plot's dumb, like, really dumb. And it's just not really well put together. Like, the best thing is the turtle stuff, because that's where you feel like most of the effort went to.
Agreed.
Like, most of the effects went into, most of the directing went to. Because really, the direction's kind of okay in this movie. For everything else, it's not like...
Yeah, it's nothing.
It's nothing, really. Yeah, it's just like, well, how does Michael Bay do a shot? And pretty much that was, like, the direction you go with. Only instead with more coherent action.
How does Michael Bay do it?
Oh, he objectifies women. Okay, I gotta do that scene. Megan, get on that trampoline.
Megan, could you please bend over out of this window so we can get a zoom up on your ass? Strong female roles.
Alright, so, let's wrap this up, shall we?
Yep.
Okay, so, I will admit that this is better than I would have given it credit for. I mean, as far as like comparing it to like the other movies, I'd still say the first one's the best. Like the one from the 90s, because in my mind, it did what this film was trying to do, but a whole lot better. In some ways, like, even when like they were introducing the Turtles, like in April O'Neil and introducing the Foot, it only took like about 5 minutes to get to.
Right.
And you went with the plot going around there, and it was Turtle-centric. It had April O'Neil as a character, but it also remembered, hey, it's the Turtle story. This one, it's kind of like, April O'Neil is the focus of everything in this universe.
April O'Neil. Featuring the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Exactly, and that's really the point of it that I really kind of drew by. The Turtle stuff did actually keep me entertained. I did kind of like that stuff. I did like a little bit of the action. But really, it's not a very good movie. I mean, the writing is inconsistent. The characters are just kind of really there. It literally steals plots from movies you've seen like a year ago.
Yeah.
And it's nothing that I think is remarkable. Like, honestly, it's not as bad as like Turtles 3 where they went back in time. It's not as bad as that, but to me it's kind of... It
became samurai?
Yeah, and they fought a colonial guy for some reason who was there. And April O'Neil met the descendants of Casey Jones and Splinter in the same second. But, like, if I had to put this, like, around with the other movies, I'd kind of put it on the same level as, like, the 07 one that was all, like, CGI and everything. Because some of the same complaints I had about that was, I liked the Turtle stuff, but the story was freaking stupid. I would give it like a 2.5 out of 5. Because really, it's just kind of a rental. Just rent it for the turtle stuff and just skip all the other crap.
I would agree with you on it, the first Ninja Turtles movie being the best. On the side that I believed I liked these Ninja Turtles more. I thought these ones had better personality. I thought they were actually more developed in personality. That's what I liked. My rating will be completely based upon the Turtles in and of itself, because everything else just is not good. The Turtles in the action, like people say with these kind of movies that you need to suspend your mind and come in just waiting for fights and CGI, and honestly, this is one of those moments where I can say to do that, not in the theater. I'm agreeing with the whole rental thing, or matinee, like a cheap ticket, but really it's more of come to see the Ninja Turtles, but hold on, because you're only going to be able to see it, scattered throughout the thing. I will agree with the 2.5, though the ending really made me want to drop it down to a 1, but that isn't fair. So, yeah, we'll go with the 2.5.
Okay, so Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles reboot. Not quite as bad as we thought, but not quite as good. Decent Turtles, bad movie. Which is a fair assessment, I think.
Decent Turtles, meh movie. I wouldn't even say bad. It was just unremarkable. It was...
Yeah.
Bad movies make me want to, it actually makes me, angrier. Makes me want to, mock the movie. I just don't care. I think that's worse, honestly. I've come out of really bad movies really angry, but at least I felt something. This one I was just kind of okay.
Whatever. Alright, so that'll do it all for us today. So, hey, I'm Dan.
And I'm Shane. Cowabunga dudes.